Yeah, game's trash. Pure garbage. Hey, who's the guy's name that made this? Where's the guy? I need to see the guy's name. Voice actors. Where's the fucking producer, man? I need to talk shit about the guy. He did a shitty game. You know what? Fuck it. Oh my god. Here we go. Let me skip that shit. I don't even give a fuck. Even with the titty bitch, I don't want to see it. You know, I'm really disappointed. This game had a lot of promise. I liked it at the start. And I liked it for a good chunk of the game. But, you know, they just slammed in all these shards. And the dude obviously wanted to make the game, like, last a while, right? They wanted you to play the game quite a bit. Which ended up meaning they slammed in all this grind material, right? You just gotta grind shards pointlessly. You gotta grind enemies so you can level up and stop getting hit for so much damage. Castlevania Symphony of the Night didn't have a lot of difficulty. And that was just fine. The pleasure of playing Castlevania is how easily you could learn to do the bosses in a very specific kind of way to dodge stuff and then get them done. In this one, you've got these options like parry and all this stuff, but none of it comes together. So you do have to try and beat a boss in some particular way. But they also, I don't really know how to explain this part. That last fight with the way that she jumped and would track you and would not attack or attack based on where you were within proximity of her wasn't a button input reading situation. It was your character, it was a position read. It would do whatever you were based where you were on the screen. And that too made it really, really unsatisfying. I mean, that is an unsatisfying. I wanted to be able to react to things. I wanted to parry more things. I wanted to bait some moves out, which I ended up having to do by jumping around like an idiot until she did the weird shoulder check, which hits you from all over the place. It's an invincible, it's a sphere attack. It's not a direct face forward attack. If you're even up and above her, she still hits you. So shit is absolutely ridiculous. You don't even have to be near her to get hit by that move. So you have to jump all over the place. You can try and parry it, but you're going to have to sit there and learn the timing of each and every thing that she does, and each and everything changes based on your positioning of where you are against her. And then that last fight, I don't even want to talk about how stupid that last fight was. Obviously, you should have recognized that she was on that one head and hit it. But at the same time, the game doesn't give you any clue that's what you're looking to do other than she being there. So you're just supposed to assume, even though everything in this screen is hittable, that's the only thing you actually want to hit. Alright, whatever. You know, I can let that go because it's a final boss, and there's always some weird bullshit with a final boss. Even the chick before that boss, I'll let it go. Weird positioning shit, fine. Alright, cool. But none of the bosses let me utilize the parry. They didn't really let me utilize any of the cool things in the game. You just kind of went at it and then jumped around like an idiot until you wouldn't get touched. That's not very fun. Like, I don't really enjoy having to retreat, wait for a move to attack, and then I can maybe hit her once or twice. This is a interactive, active game that I should be able to create my own openings with. And sometimes I can with the parry, it would work, and I managed to do it a few times, but a lot of times it was snuffed out. So the thing I really, really, really wanted to do, the game doesn't support it. It doesn't allow you to do it, not without, well, I don't really know if you could do it. I mean, you would have to learn absolutely everything there is to know about the game before you could play that way. I wanted to naturally be able to play the way that I naturally want to play. I want to be able to absorb it at the time. I want to do the boss the way I want to do the boss, and that should be it. But I can't. And if I want to do it that way, I would have to learn every tiny little thing about how the boss works. And I mean, I complained about a lot, and it really got worse and worse. The later enemy designs are like, they have a little pinky that stretches out from their face, and if they so much as if they turn their head, they hit you. They just hit you with these little tiny spiky bits that come out of their body because it counts as the enemy. And you're sitting there not even in sword range. You're not in sword range. You can't reach them. You're not able to whiff them. And because their upper body is way up here and they got these tiny little dancer's legs, you're whiffing down here and you can't aim upwards to hit up top. So you're whiffing under the enemy's chest and his head is poked over and is fucking touching you whenever he moves up and down and you get hit. It's like if it's like trying to fit a puzzle piece that doesn't fit, you know? You can't swing your sword and hit the body without some little piece of the enemy being a threat. And it makes it completely awkward. It makes it really awkward. You just get hit with random shit. Like I said, I can forgive the last 2 fights that we just did because it was the boss. It was the boss, and there's always bullshit with bosses. In-game bosses. There's always some weird bullshit. They always throw out the kitchen sink at the end of the game. That's what they do. They ramp up the difficulty. It's tradition. I don't know why, but it's tradition. But I'm talking about all the fights before that. I still could not play the way that I felt the game was giving me options to play as. And it ultimately just came down to, hey, just jump away and don't deal with this bullshit. You gotta cheese it. You gotta play like an asshole. Just fucking jump away and don't be anywhere near there, you know? It's not even like Dark Souls, right? Because I like playing a game that has no difficulty. Like Dark Souls. There's no difficulty to Dark Souls. Once you know how to dodge the bosses, you've got all this room to do some punishes. And then whatever weapon you have to learn to work within those windows. This is nothing like that. Because these enemies change their attack patterns based on your positioning. So it's really ridiculous. You can't even get into this Dark Souls mentality of like different weapons for different bosses and using them differently than for different bosses. Ultimately, the best and better strategy, regardless of whatever weapon you have, is to bait out 1 or 2 moves that you know the guy will do by abusing that positioning stuff. And then you can move in and it completely takes away any consideration of spacing. It accounts for the weird spiky bits coming down because sometimes you can hit the spiky bits. A lot of times you can't. And then so that's all you do. And that's the boss fight. It's wildly unappealing. It really broke down. It wasn't like that at the first half of the game. The first half was great. Even two-thirds, I felt the game was great. There was a great balance between how much damage you did, how much damage you took. You couldn't really be an asshole and run through everything. But you could make a significant amount of progress without wishing there was a save point. Near the end there, I can only get to 2 rooms. I get to 2 rooms before wishing for a save point. And why? It's because maybe those little wheel guys who spout flame and you can't stop the flame. You hit the guy and he is not interrupted. And it's the same with all the flying demons on the screen. And then they start hiding in the terrain and you can't reach them because they're in the terrain. It just becomes a frustrating experience. What was fun just grew into a frustrating experience. And no doubt they did that because they wanted it to be difficult and enforce you to grind. And then in that way, you have more of a reason to play the game. Well, congratulations. You just made me not like your game. And now I don't like the game. I was totally fine with the game other than the anime look of it. I was endorsing the game. I thought it was fine. But then, boy. I mean, those are really big things. You completely killed the exploration by making guys super buff. You completely ruined the ability to play the way you would want to play it with whatever weapon you're rocking because of the way that you have to handle some of the creatures. You can't even stop them in the later game from attacking or moving. You hit them and they don't react. They just stand there like they were never touched. I would almost say that's a bug. I mean, how do you hit something and it doesn't move? That's a bug, right? Like, that's a bug. It could be a bug. I mean, it's an indie game. I don't know. But it certainly didn't seem like that would be a major oversight if that was a bug. In any case, I don't like the game anymore. It was cool while I was playing it at first. But now, yeah. Whatever. It's just another anime game now. And that's the problem. It really had a big hill to climb even to begin with. And I guess that's why I'm so disappointed. I actually did a good job of climbing that hill at the start of the game. But then, somewhere around the 2/3 point, everything just broke down. It became a slog, and I just wanted to be done with the fucking shit. And on top of that, I'm shitting all over the anime aesthetic. So, game over though. I don't have to play it anymore. Everybody else can fucking suck their own dick over this game, and I'll just go suck my own dick over a different game. Maybe Tekken. Listen, Aang Young, thanks for stopping by, man. It's good to see you. Tula, Turbo, all the fucking brown like cinnamon likes hot sauce, Tula and hot sauce. Thank you both for the subscription. I appreciate it. As you guys know, we now have a second emote, and I fucking love the shit out of it. It's really good. That's proper doggo right there. Yeah, I'm hoping to be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'll have. I don't think it's Zelda, but it might be. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Kingdom Never Came. I might take some time off, but you know, I take so much time off during the weekdays. I don't like to. So I might be a little hard on the game because it's been 5 hours and 20 minutes of pure nonstop, unbroken streaming. I didn't break it all. Yeah, that's possible, but I don't think so. I think that even if in a fresher mindset, I would have beaten it faster, but I think I still would have all these problems. It's just right now these problems absolutely destroy the game for me. If I was in a fresher state where I wasn't so hardcore about beating it, I would still feel that way, but I might not shit on the game as hard. So these are still relevant feelings towards the game. They don't change based on how I beat the game. They simply are how they are. I'm just more upset now because I'm exhausted and I didn't take a break for 5 motherfucking hours.